What are you breaking my balls for? All right, it's about that time for another episode of Breakin Ballz. I'm your host, Johnny Potenza. Great to see everybody. And joining me tonight from the Breakin Ballz cast, we have the captain, Garry Pastore, and Concetta Rose. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Yay!
Yeah.
Hello.
Good to see you. Great to see you.
Yes, a little summer reprieve, right?
Yeah, I really like your shirt. This is.
Oh, thank you. It's
Doing his-
it's called Snake Bit.
Ooh, it is.
A snake for a snake.
I got bit by a snake. I'm no snake.
Aw,
I'm
don't say that.
I'm teasing him. He always gets me.
No, you can say what you want. But not a snake.
Nah, he's not a snake. He's a rattlesnake. I'm only kidding.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long. What have you been doing? What has everybody been up to?
I just enjoyed the summer. It went too fast, and
Yeah, I agree with that.
I had my hand operated on, like everybody knows, and it's coming along good. I'm like 65% of the way. So I just pretty much just chilled by the beach and by the pool, and that was it. You know, just recuperated. How about you, Gary? You feeling a little nostalgic lately, huh? Melancholy? What's the matter?
Every September, 9/11. Even though I try and forget about it, it rings in my brain.
Yeah.
It's like I know, and it's been 24 years. It's not like I forget it because I'll never.
You'll never forget that.
But I try not to think about it. And then September rolls around and there's always something the matter, And I tell you, on 9/11 this year, it was really bad.
And we had the other tragedy.
Yeah, we had two. We had that poor girl on the tram, which, two basic public executions, and I said to myself, this has got to stop. We need some common ground here.
Yeah.
You don't want to hate people. I'm not the type to hate anybody, unless I have a reason.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even like the word hate. I like dislike.
Yeah.
And I disliked a lot of people in the past couple of weeks, I'd say. And I went to Mass on Sunday, and I even put it on social media that I went. Listen, I think everybody should have a God. I don't care who
we
you
believe.
pray to.
I believe in Jesus Christ.
So do I. But whether you're Muslim or you're Jewish or whatever faith you are, you have a God you pray.
Yeah.
Because you're all going to need it one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I went. I talked to my priest on Sunday for like 25 minutes. Just kind of got and he agrees. Because I want. What the problem is? I want my children to grow up in a perfect world, and it's no longer perfect. Not that it ever really
Even
was.
when it wasn't, it was a lot
but
better.
when we were kids, it was pretty darn perfect.
Because we were kids and we were living in the bubble that our parents created for us to
But we
keep
played
us safe.
outside more.
Yeah, but
We didn't
growing,
have this stupid
well,
nonsense.
growing up
For
in the
sure.
80s and the 90s were cool times. Even in the music business, it was, and just music in general, and just hanging out on the street corner or on the stoop. 4th of July.
Yeah, they
everything.
say the 90s was the last free time because before, internet and social media
Yeah.
and things like that kind of
Well,
sprung up.
we went out and we played ball. I mean, I remember parents when I was, 13, 14, 15, if I was out on the block, I'd hit my dad.
Yeah.
It was like 7 houses on the block when I lived
Yeah.
here in Staten Island.
Yeah. Whistle.
Yeah,
we had
the
a whistle.
Get in,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
You hear that loud bellow.
Yep, street lights are on.
So let me interrupt this, Gary. Gary's been very busy lately, Concetta, and he's back on call with the first shift.
Wow.
And I believe this is on Paramount Plus, right?
Yes, it is.
And it came in number 2 in the top 10 movies, which is excellent.
That's great.
So he's back filming. Give us a brief on what's happening right now. You just got done on the set this week shooting, right?
Yes, we're shooting back-to-back episodes 2 and 3. We're hoping to get picked up by Paramount. Didn't put any money up yet.
All right.
And we're praying
All
that
right.
with these next 2 installments,
But the
that
production
they open up their wallets.
Yeah.
And they
Let's
say, you
put
know
it out
what,
there.
we're going to fund the rest of it because it's quite good.
Yeah.
And we love the actors.
The production value, the production value is awesome on it. Couldn't
It
even.
is. And
that's great.
Uwe Boll, who is the director, he's pretty famous. He's done a couple of films. He did Postal. He's got a movie out now called Run with James Russo, and I forgot who else is in it. Costas Mandylor, and I'm sure there's other people. I just don't remember. But he's great. I love working with him. I love his crew. They're all from Germany.
Yeah.
So it's like a different experience,
Yeah.
getting to work
Awesome.
with people from. I told him, I says, Why do we gotta shoot here? Why can't we shoot in Germany? Bring me over.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right?
Italy. How about
Free
Italy?
trip.
No, yeah.
Take me back to the homeland.
You got to be
Suggestion.
technically these days, unless you're an A-lister, you got to be an influencer now for them to fly you all over the place.
No, that's not true. They'll still fly.
This
Whoa.
is more Gary on his everyday life.
Dude, you look so scary.
And I am in this. I'm a sociopath.
Whoa.
They picked the right guy. Good
Whoa.
casting.
Oh, definitely kick the right guy.
Wow.
And here's another picture. I
Awesome.
just dug it up fast just to get off the subject. Is Gary back in the day when he had black hair with Johnny Depp, and then who's that with you?
Vinny Vella.
Oh, Mingo, that's so dirt. Vinny Vella. He's a young Vinny Vella.
We're going to talk about him later.
This is like an inkjet one when it was running out of ink when he took this. So, but yeah.
I took that tonight. Be happy you got it.
It looks pretty
That was
good.
taken off of a Polaroid because that's what they had back
Well, you're
then.
gonna B-roll it.
We
But
didn't have camera phones. We didn't have camera phones back then.
now, Concetta, before we bring on our special guest, don't you have something coming up?
Do I have something coming up?
Don't you have a play or something, something you're producing or something coming up in a couple of months?
Oh.
Or am I just seeing things?
No. Next month is I'm a producer on the 48-hour film festival for virtual arts.
Cool.
And we're looking for signups right now. So come on out. The theme is horror this year.
Where is
so
it?
It's virtual. So it's
Oh, it's virtual.
Yeah.
It's not going to be in a theater kind of thing.
No, not yet. Not yet. But
How
if
about-
we get a little funding for it, maybe next year,
That's it.
we'll be showing them.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be great.
I happen to dabble in some horror film stuff.
Oh,
too.
please. That would be incredible. What a crossover.
Oh, forget it. Nuts. Well, listen, time's going on and time is short and time is precious. So we got to bring on our special guest tonight.
What?
Something like that's Johnny P language.
Time is going on and time is short.
Yeah.
And special. Time is on my side.
My special guest tonight is an author of the new book. What the hell was that? Something fell.
We have a ghost.
It's a ghost.
We have a
Was
ghost.
that, was that somebody's camera? Let me
No,
see.
it wasn't a camera. It was that giant
Okay.
red chair.
It just
That's all
fell
right.
over.
Something fell.
It was the chair. Frankie, help us.
Frankie.
Well, listen, we're running out of time, so let's bring on our special guest. He's an author of the new book, Who's Better Than You? The Vinny Vella Life Stories, our dear friend Vinny Vella. Let's give him a ball-busting hello to Gary D. Morgan. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Thank
How you doing,
very
pal?
much, Johnny P. I'm doing good.
How long have we been trying to, me and you coordinating for? About a year?
Good year.
Yeah.
Good year.
Because he
But,
lives in Florida.
I do live in Florida, but come up special for you and for the grandkids, and just really love coming out here to Staten Island.
Good for you. Now talk to us. Then I told you we're the truck, you're the driver.
Absolutely.
What inspired you to write this? Let's hear your story about
Well,
everything.
I worked for the Housing Authority in New York for 31 years.
Doing what?
Oh, community centers, tenant associations, all that kind
I
of
wish
stuff.
I met you years ago.
Yeah, and I worked in every borough, and every part of every borough. So that was finished after 31 years. I said, what do I do now? Let me take a couple of acting classes. So I took a few acting classes, and then a friend of mine who was doing some acting said, hey, they got a networking thing going on at La Scatolino restaurant on 6th Avenue and 9th Street. And who was there? Vinny. So,
What year
Vinny-
was that?
This would have been 2007, 2008.
Oh.
And so, Vinny takes over the room. So, I was very impressed. Moved to a few years later, and I'm producing a play, but making sure everything goes right, not the money thing. And we had an opening for a boxing coach. It was a boxing play. And so I got Vinny involved. Well, Vinny would come every night, and the actors and the actresses would stand around Vinny, because Vinny was telling everybody his stories, his life stories, the things that he did, and nobody was rehearsing. So, they had to scream at him to stop the stories. So I just said, what else could I do but sit down with Vinny and record these stories and then finally, put them into a book form? And Vinny was all for that. So we used to go over to La Mela restaurant over there.
That was a spot.
That's my favorite place.
Yeah, and we'd sit there and we'd eat, and Vinny would get the check. He paid for himself. I paid for myself.
Yeah.
And on the check it'd say 15% off for Vinny. And fortunately, after a few months, I had my name on the receipt. I was thrilled. I wish I could have kept one of them because
Yeah.
it was so precious. But Vinny would mess with the waiters. He'd mess with anybody who'd come in. You know, he'd sign autographs. That's just Vinny. So he went story after story, and I got them all down, and then I finally transcribed them. And then we would go over to La Bella Ferrara. I don't know if you guys have been
Of
there.
course.
But, yeah. So we'd sit there, and Vinny loved the attention.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, what a ham. And so I took more pictures with other people's camera of Vinny and them than I've ever taken in my life. And I take a lot of pictures. So he just loved the adulation, and that's what Vinny was about.
Vinny was always a good guy. I met him at the Mob Candy magazine parties years ago. But he was actually, when I started my late night show, he was the first like semi-name that came on the second season because he knew a lot of people I knew. But he took the whole room over.
Oh,
but he
always.
wanted to come on, Gary, and he goes, I want to break Vinny Pastore. That's when him and Vinny Pastore were at war. I want to bust Vinny Pastore's chops, and I was just trying to get Vinny on my show. I go, I'm not a Howard Stern guy. I go, I want everyone to have fun. I'm a ball buster.
Weren't they on the Wise Guy show?
Yeah, they won the Wise Guy show. So I go, I don't want you guys to you throwing dags at him on my show. I go, just don't do it. Don't say nothing. And then he did. He was good about it. He respected it because
Yes.
I don't want to cause a war yet.
Exactly.
Like now it'll be a different story because I know both of them and I could bust their chops and get in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he was just a doll, and yeah, I always loved Vinny Vella.
Yeah. So, you know, I came here and I'm prepared to tell you a couple of stories that are from the book, and I hope everybody enjoys them as much as I have. I've heard him 1,000 times over because he would tell the people when he was sitting at the restaurant, they're taking his picture, and he would tell everybody his stories, and you probably heard him when you hang out with him.
Oh, you know I did.
Yeah. Oh, so you'll recognize some of these. So,
It's fine.
you know, so this is the book, and there's the cover, and there's Vinny, you know. So first story is this school picture. So Vinny's in 5th grade. You're going to hold it up or I'll
Oh,
hold it?
I
yeah.
got it right here.
Okay.
We all got one.
We all hold it up.
We all got one.
Yeah.
But this is a classic story. Tell
Yes, Vinny's in 5th grade. So remember the school picture we all took. So Vinny gets first online. So the photographer takes his picture. Vinny gets off the line, takes off his sweater, combs his hair differently, and gets on the back of the line. 4 months later, Mrs. Bruno meets the photographer, the teacher, and the photographer says, I got you 50 students here. What do you mean 50 students? I've had 49 students for the last 3 years. Hey, take a look at the picture.
Yeah.
There's Vinny over here, and there's Vinny over here.
That's like one of a kind.
That is absolutely one of
5th
a
grade.
kind.
5th grade.
How much trouble did he get in?
That's funny.
He actually got thrown out of 4 grammar schools in Greenwich Village.
Shocking.
The other school, one of the other schools he
I
got.
wish I could see a video over here when he was a kid.
Shocking.
Oh my God! One of the other schools he got thrown out of. He decided the school day had to end, so he strung some fishing wire at the bottom of the stairs.
Heard
And then he
that one.
said, "How was I supposed to know that somebody would break their arm coming
Yeah.
down the stairs? And how was I supposed to know another guy would break his leg?" So he got thrown out of that school. So he got thrown out of 4 schools. But with Vinny, one story leads into another. So this picture is hanging in his parents' living room. In the meantime, Vinny is over on 6th Avenue robbing the parking meters with his friend. So who comes knocking at the door but the police? Because back in the day, the police knew everybody in the
Oh,
community.
yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
would tell everybody what everybody was doing.
And they were hard-ons, the cops, back in
they
the
were.
day.
Oh, they were.
Come knocking at the door. Vinny opens the door. Hey, you, Vinny Vella, get up against the wall. What do you want? Who do you want? You want Vinny? Oh, where are your parents? Oh, they're out in Brooklyn visiting my aunt and uncle. They were actually next door. So Vinny was good at this stuff. So he said, you want Vinny? Oh, he gives my mother a hard time all the time. What do you mean? Aren't you Vinny? No, I'm Frankie. What do you mean you're Frankie? You got any proof that you're Frankie? Here, take a look at the picture.
Yeah.
That's Vinny.
Wait a minute. So you're trying
That's
to tell
me, Frankie.
So he had this devised.
Oh, he was sharp. He could make up you sit with him and he could make it up in the moment. He's just brilliant that way. So they came back 4 hours later, and he always said his mother was like the Gestapo. She'd turn him in a minute.
Oh,
so the
yeah.
cops come in, Mrs. Vella, is this Vinny or is this Frankie? Vinny or a Frankie? If I had 2 of them like this, I would have killed them when they were young. Story never ends. He had to go out with an Irish girl. Why do you have to go with the Irish girl? Because the Italian father said, if I catch you with that Vinny Vella, you're never going to get married. You'll never have my grandchildren. Forget about it. So he had to go out with the Irish girl. So he goes out with an Irish girl. He gets a little fresh with her in the movies. She breaks up with him. Her brother came after him with a machete. Wow. Didn't catch him, fortunately. A month later, he sees her in the street. He says, how you doing? And she's, Vinny Vella, get away from me. What do you mean? I'm not Vinny, I'm Frankie. What do you mean you're Frankie? Then he tells you, I have a twin brother. I'm his twin brother. So she says, what are you talking about? Oh, I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. Come with me. So she stays downstairs. He goes up to the apartment. He gets the picture, brings it downstairs. Here, that's me, Frankie. That's Vinny. Sick. If I could take you out, I wouldn't get fresh with you. I'd treat you wonderfully. Yeah. So they go to the movies. They start kissing. She says, you know, it's interesting. You kiss just like Vinny. So, nice. Well, we're twins. Yeah. So they're walking outside, and then they're walking down the block, and of course, everybody's going, "Yo, Vinny, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing?" So that's just one of the many stories that's in the book. But
that's hilarious.
That is great. Wait, so let me understand something, because sure. I don't. Obviously, his personality is missed on me. But so did he think of this like all these things in advance? Did he like plot all this out, or did he have one moment where he thought, wouldn't it be funny if I took 2 pictures, and then like for the rest of time, he kind of always used that one moment to like.
No, I can tell you that, you know, you'll read the stories in the book, and they're all inventive. He's just an inventive kind of guy. Okay. And in the moment, inventive.
Yes.
Yeah, and he said, you know, I wasn't a bad kid. I was just mischievous.
Yeah.
That's what
I think I said it right. I was waiting for Garry to correct me.
Yeah. Oh, you must have said it right, because it didn't stop me in my tracks. But
I know better now to pull back when I can't pronounce the word.
Well, you could say mischievous too, right?
Yeah.
Well, I looked it up last night. It's mischievous.
So is that the English version?
That's
the mischievous.
That's the Google.
It's like schedule.
like Bobby.
Check my schedule.
Bobby Finero quotes. He goes, how does Concetta? He quotes it different. He goes, how's Concetta? Yeah, like that.
He says every single syllable.
He's the best, Bobby.
I love you, Bobby.
What's up, Bobby? What are you doing?
Yeah, I love Bobby too.
Good guy. Good guy.
So I got to tell you, in this book. Yes. You know, I wrote in there that the stories contained in the book are fiction unless they are true.
And that's
funny. That covers the waterfront.
I want you to tell about the lotto ticket.
Oh, I got that one, but I got an even better one. Okay, I want to tell you about the mausoleums. So Vinny's father says to Vinny, I want you to take Mama and your brother to the cemetery and get 3 mausoleums. 1 for your mother, 1 for me, and 1 for your brother. But make sure your brother's not next to me.
No way.
So they go to the cemetery. The salesman's talking to the mother, Mrs. Vella. He says, oh, listen, I got 3 over here, up here. She says, oh, no, I get a dizzy. It's a too high. The salesman's looking at Vinny. Vinny says, why the fuck are you looking at me? She said it. He says, okay, I got 3 down here. Oh, no, I get a dusty down here. So the salesman's looking at Vinny again. He said, she said it. Why don't leave me the fuck alone. And he says, Ma, you're giving this guy a hard time. So he says, okay, I got 2 over here. 1, somebody's here, and then I got 1 over here. So the brother says, who's the one in the middle there? He says, oh, he was a professor. The brother says, well, at least I'll have somebody to talk to.
That's sick.
So that's another one. Just to mention that there's a story in there about the King Tut ring disappearing from the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
That I heard about.
Oh, yeah, I want to know about that.
There's a story in the book. You'll have to read the story. You'll have to read the story. Subsequently, the guy who was in charge of security at the Metropolitan Museum of Art wrote a book about all the thefts and all that kind of stuff. And he did write about that, but Vinny's name isn't mentioned in that. So
oh, wow.
You can draw your own conclusions.
Let me ask this. I'm jumping back a little. Sure. What's the connection with De Niro and I know they were best friends, but who was in whose wedding or best man? What was that?
Oh, okay. So there's another story. That's the cousin Barbara's story.
Okay.
So Margaret Ann, by the way, I just have to mention her name, the wife. Still friends with her. She's wonderful.
Give her my love, please.
Yeah. And Vinny Jr.,
Him too.
Vinny Jr.
Yeah.
You know, is still Vinny's in Tampa, Florida, but they were just instrumental with the book. So cousin Barbara, Vinny's hanging out in near his house in Elizabeth Street over there, and he's talking to somebody. Cousin Barbara, who's Margaret Ann's cousin, comes over and says, "Vinny, how you doing, cousin Vinny? Who are you talking to?" Vinny says, "You go to the movies?" And the guy turns around, and it's Mario. And who's Mario? He's a lookalike of Joe Pesci. Looks exactly like.
that was the guy
I
who
met
hung
that
out with.
guy.
He was.
You know those guys.
The other
yeah.
guy that used to
Yeah.
hang out with him too, the De Niro lookalike.
Yeah.
What was his name? The guy
Oh,
who bounced the checks.
Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah.
But so Mario, she says, "Oh, it's Joe Pesci." She hugged him, she kissed him, everything, and Vinny said she did everything, but did that. So cousin Barbara goes back to the neighborhood, says, I saw Vinny with Joe Pesci. I hugged him, I kissed him. Everybody goes,
Yeah.
that wasn't Joe Pesci. That motherfucker, when I get hold of him, I'm going to kill him. And she sees him, she curses him out and all like that. Okay, so Vinny, Margaret Ann, they get married.
Yeah. Thank you for getting to that.
Yeah, they get it. You're welcome. By the way, I got an athletic supporter on because I know you're going to break balls. So, So Vinny's, they're having a wedding, the wedding reception. So Mario comes walking in, and cousin Barbara says to everybody, "Hey, he fucked me over. That's not Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Don't get fooled by him." Well, De Niro was coming,
Yeah.
but he told Vinny, "Don't you tell anybody."
Yeah.
He didn't even tell Margaret Ann.
Yeah.
So De Niro walks in, and cousin Barbara stands up and says, "That ain't De Niro. He fucked me with Joe Pesci. Now that ain't De Niro." And so, Vinny's looking at her like, "Don't do that," and that ain't De Niro. Look, he's a lookalike, just like the other guy. Vinny goes, he really is De Niro. And she says, "Okay, Vinny, I'm really sorry. No, you don't need to apologize to me. You need to apologize to him." Meanwhile, he's going like this to De Niro. She's nuts. So that was.
But
that
was
De
he his
Niro.
best man?
He was the best.
Yeah.
He was the best man at that.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And that's when De Niro was cool.
Well, they grew up in the same neighborhood, and I think De Niro's a little bit older.
I don't know what happened to him, unfortunately.
And Marty.
It's sad.
Marty's from down there.
Vinny used to they lived in the same
I know.
building. Marty's parents lived in the same
I went
building.
to both Marty's parents' funerals. I knew Marty's parents
Right.
before I met Marty.
Wow.
I met Charlie first.
Okay.
The brother?
No, the father.
Yeah.
I met Charlie first.
Yeah.
We were doing a TV show. Charlie was there. It was there were 3 different directors. It was Woody Allen, Francis Ford Coppola, and I think Marty.
Yeah.
And I was in the I was in the Coppola one with him, I think.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. I was in the Martin Scorsese one, and I actually was sitting with Charlie that day, and he told me about Goodfellas.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
To tell you, the scene in Casino that Vinny's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
main
Great
the main
scene.
scene. That's Marty's mother.
Yes,
That's in the scene that plays
Yeah.
Vinny's
Yes.
mother.
Yeah.
right.
So Vinny used to hang out because they lived in the same building, and Vinny would talk to her in Italian, so they got to know each other. So when Vinny comes to the set, Scorsese's mother says, "What are you doing here, Vinny?" He says, "Oh, your son gave me a role in the film. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy." So that scene, made him famous.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
That was a great
That was
scene. And
most ad-libbed.
yeah.
Ad-libbed.
And there's
Yeah.
a 60-minute thing that you can find online where they interviewed Scorsese and Vinny, and they talked about that.
See, a guy like Vinny is a guy that would be better doing an ad lib because the way he is than memorizing it, right?
I did this. I wrote this movie called Wildflower back in probably the 90s, and I did a staged reading. And Vinny got up there. He did not speak one word of the dialogue I wrote. Everything that he did was ad-libbed, and I'm trying to sell it at the point. At that point,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I got to get this sold, Vinny. Try and stick to what I wrote. Yeah, sure. And there was one thing where I said, the guy shuts the door and he's like, "Yeah, get out of here." Vinny has to end. I hope you fall down the stairs and break your brick. And I started cracking up in the reading. I said, I didn't write that.
There's a lot of tributes in the book, and on the back of the book, you got all the tributes.
You got a lot of cool people back there.
One of the funniest ones in there, somebody said to Vinny, "What's the key to acting?" Vinny said, "Don't learn the lines." So that's apropos.
There you go.
Of what you're saying.
There you go.
So let me see. Let me read off some of these guys.
I'm not on there.
We got Amanda Sante, Vinny Pastore, Catherine Narducci. We love Catherine. We have Dominic Chinese, Anthony Michael Hall, Michael Rispoli, Tony Darrow, Joe Corsi, Michael Madsen, who just died. God bless his soul. Al Sapienza, Tony Ray Rossi, Lou Venaria, and just to name a few, Victor Carliccio. So, but yeah, all great names. Artie Pasquale.
Right, and they all loved Vinny. I'll tell you a funny thing about.
Well, he was an easy guy to love.
Oh yeah, and that's what he said to everybody. Who's better than you?
He always made you feel very special.
And I'll tell you,
no matter what.
Something that he told me about Casino is later in the movie, the feds come to his house, and he's having a heart attack there, and the actress actually, was going to lean over on him, and she hit him in the wrong place. And he said, "What are you doing? Trying to bring me back to life?" So that was, of course, cut from the movie.
Of course,
that's one of the things that happened.
That's Vin.
That's Vinny.
You know what the best was when he used to? Were you on his late night show, his cable show?
Never went on.
Me and Vinny would, and this is a true story. Not even saying anything for anything, but we were the only ones doing entertainment variety show on public access TV.
Right.
But Vinny didn't edit. I edit. So if you don't edit, you have to pay somebody. Mm-hmm. So Vinny used to leave all the mistakes and the feedback from the band. I don't care. Oh, whoa, hey, don't worry, do it again. Concetta, how you doing? And he just had that. The whole show would be up and down, but he would just do it.
Yes.
And he would just do it his way.
Yes.
And always a lot of fun.
Yep. And you took him for who he was, because that's what he did.
He didn't take it seriously. He just went out there and he did what he did.
Exactly.
You know.
I got another story if we got some time.
Yeah, we got time.
Okay, there's a
and
motorbike.
if not, we go a little longer.
Okay.
Your stories are good. Okay. We waited long enough.
So there was a motorbike, a Honda motorbike that fell off a truck.
Mm-hmm.
We like things like that.
And then he's driving it down Fifth Avenue in the 70s, and he gets hit from behind by a car. He goes flying up in the air, comes down. Wow. Lenox Hill Hospital comes running to get him. They take him over to Lenox Hill Hospital. He's laying there. He's got the thing around his neck and the whole thing. He says to the nurse, "What happened? What's going on here?" She says, "Oh, Mr. Vella, you're hurt." Vinny says, "What do I got? What's wrong?" She says, "You got a broken coccyx." And then he said, "I thought this was a nice way of saying something else." So he said to her, "Is it still there?
Yeah.
And can I use it? Will I be able to use it?" She said, "Oh, Mr. Vella, you're so funny. You're so funny."
He got lucky with that accident, I heard.
Yeah, he sure did. So he said, "Mr. Vella, you're so funny, but it's it's your tailbone. It's back there, He says, "Oh, okay. Well, I knew it was there when I came in, but it's okay." So this was just part of who Vinny was in terms of this kind of stuff. And then he calls his mother and his father because he's out of the house for a few days. Mm-hmm. So he gets on the phone with his mother. "Mom, something happened. I had an accident." "Vinny, what kind of accident you have?" "A little motorbike accident." "Are you okay?" "Well, there's something wrong. I got something that's wrong in the back. It's not in the front, it's in the back." "Oh, Vinny, you can tell me. I go to the doctor all the time. I know about medical stuff." "Mom, I have a broken coccyx." "Frankie, come take the phone. Vinny broke his thing." So his dad gets on the phone. "Vinny, what happened?" "Oh, listen, Dad, you're not going to understand, but it's in the back. It's not in the front. I've got a broken coccyx." "Vinny, I love you. I'm not ashamed of you. Whatever you do, don't touch it.
Yeah.
They'll fix it." So that's that story. There's one other story I'd love to tell about Frank Sinatra, his run-ins with Frank Sinatra.
Let me hear this. This is.
So he's down in Florida, and somebody told him he could become a maitre d'. So he says, "Do I have to wear a skirt?" Because he didn't know what a maitre d' was. So he goes into Jilly's. He's working for Jilly's. So who is Frank Sinatra's best friend? We all know that. So he's there. So somebody teaches him how to be a maitre d'. He says, "Listen, somebody comes in and wants a table. You stick your hand in your pocket, and you say, 'Do you have a reservation?' And if they don't have a reservation, you know that
gotta fork you.
they want to get a little bit of, a little tip there. So, so he would do that. So somebody comes in and says, some guy comes walking in and says, okay, I want a table. It's for Frank. Then he says, you got a reservation? What do you mean it's for Frank? You got a reservation? I can't do it. It's for Frank Sinatra. Oh, I got a table right here. Right here. The guy says, I don't want that table. I want that table. But people are sitting there. Get them out of there. Vinny goes over to the table, says, you're going to have to move. I'm going to have to move you over here. The guy who gave you that table made a mistake. They said, you gave us the table. He says, okay, I'll get you, move over. I'll give you a couple of drinks. In comes Sinatra. He says, is this the guy? And he hands him a $100 bill.
Who hands him $100 bill?
Sinatra hands him a $100
Sinatra gave me a $100
bill.
bill too once. Also, I was a doorman at a restaurant. Yeah,
And he gave you $100.
he gave me a $100 bill for
Fantastic.
opening the door.
I wish I was able to meet him.
Just opening the door.
Yeah,
I
so the
like
story,
that.
of course, never ends with Vinny. His stories never end. So he's there, and they want him to sit down. And he says, my boss is Jilly's going to fire me if I sit down. Sit down. The guy put his hand on his shoulder. Jilly came in. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Vinny bought him a bottle of wine, but Jilly said, no, everything's free for him. And Sinatra loved him. He walked out the door. He gave him another $100.
And $100 back then is like $1,000.
Forget about it. This is
A lot of money.
Yeah.
A few years later, Sinatra's playing Carnegie Hall. So he pulls up. Vinny's got a date. And he pulls up in the limo. Sinatra pulls up in the limo, gets out, and Vinny's girlfriend says, it's Frank Sinatra, it's Frank Sinatra. Vinny goes walking over, and Sinatra says, hey, what are you doing here? He says, oh, I live in New York. Oh, what's your name again? Is it Benny? No, it's Vinny. Are you correcting me? Okay, it's Vinny. Benny's my middle name. So, Sinatra says, you got tickets? He says, yeah. He gives Sinatra the tickets. Sinatra goes, where am I going to, listen, you're going to go to the door over there. You're going to tell the guy that I said, sit you down in the front.
Oh, nice.
Vinny says, oh, that's wonderful. And the girlfriend is, of course, going crazy and all that stuff. You know Frank Sinatra? He didn't want to explain everything. So he says, yeah, we were friends back in the day, so like that. So he goes to the door and he says, Sinatra said to come to you and tell you my name. It's Vinny, or sometimes I go by Benny.
You can call me Ray. You can call me Jay.
I remember that.
So, he got to sit in the front, and he said during the show, Sinatra looked down at him and, made eye contact with him.
What year was
very
that?
Happy.
Wow.
Was that in the
Probably
80s?
early 80s.
Probably.
Maybe even late 70s.
When did he actually retire? 80 what? It was around mid-80s?
Sinatra? I really
My
don't
mother
know
actually
offhand.
saw that last show with my father.
Well,
Wow.
I met him around 85 when he gave me the $100 bill. So he would go to Patsy's. He came by our place one night,
And that was the main place you were at then.
Columbus.
Yeah.
He came there, and it wasn't his cup of tea. He doesn't like to be in all of that. He likes his joints.
And he wants everyone in his entourage.
in his
That's it,
joints. He knows he's surrounded by his friends. In Columbus, he might have been outnumbered that night. That place, we had 40 celebs, easy a night there. One bigger than the next. Warren Beatty,
I never been there back
Jack
in the day. I heard a
Nicholson.
lot
Oh,
about
it was
it.
insane. I gotta write a book about that place.
Yeah,
I wish that somebody had pictures, because we didn't have cameras back then.
you're right.
Yeah.
Well, you had the cameras, but most of the people had those 110 automatic.
Well, there was a
cameras.
guy
Remember
named
them?
Steve Sands. He was a paparazzi, and he used to come by me all the time, and I have to chase him away because he wanted to take pictures of who was inside. And he would walk by with his camera. I know he's got a couple of shots.
Those
even
are the
with
guys
me.
you want to put in your pocket.
Yeah, his name's Steve Sands, a real cuckoo clock. If you look him up on YouTube.
Well, most of those guys are cuckoo clocks. I don't want to mention some of their names because I actually like them, but they're nuts.
Oh, he was absolutely nuts. He got thrown off of so many sets. I can't tell you. I mean, he would get right in their faces. I actually had to get into a thing because of Sean Penn because of him. Sean Penn and Madonna were doing Goose and Tom Tom
Okay.
at Lincoln Center.
Uh-huh.
And they were walking into the restaurant, and there's Steve, and I was like, back off. Oh, who are you? What are you doing? Don't put your hands on me. Like right away he got in my face. But I had to get them in the restaurant.
Yeah. I like Sean Penn. I've been watching a lot of his old movies. I never met. I never.
We might be getting off a little bit of topic.
Well, I
Just a
never
little
met him.
bit.
Listen, there's a lot of actors that you don't want to meet. That when you meet them,
Right.
you kind of get turned off. Even with rock stars, you know,
It
you people that you
happens.
love all your life. No, I don't love Sean Penn, but like there were people that I met that I was like, I wish I didn't meet them. You know.
But yeah, because you're falling in love with the persona. You're not really falling in love with.
And
you
I'm
know,
talking
anybody's
about back
heart.
in the day because I don't get starstruck, but I'm cool with all that stuff. But still, you know, people are just
Gotta be humble.
Yeah, you
Gotta be humble. I don't care who you
Yeah.
are. You start down there, you go up there, you're gonna come back down there again.
Yeah.
It seems
gotta
like
be
Vinny
humble.
was very humble.
Gotta be
I
humble.
think so, yeah.
You know, for as
Yeah.
boisterous and full of life as he was, it seems
Just
like he was
loved
very...
entertaining people. That
Yeah.
was what he was all about.
See, he wasn't an A-lister, but he was the king of Mulberry Street.
Absolutely.
Everybody knew him.
Absolutely.
He
Him
was
and
like the
Cha-Cha,
mayor of the
I
neighborhood.
felt like they were in competition, the two of
Yeah,
them.
but we were
Right,
talking
with
Called him the
Cha-Cha.
mayor of Elizabeth Street.
Yeah,
That's
Mayor
what
of
they-
Elizabeth Street, right.
They were a
That's
little
great.
bit, weren't they a little bit at conflict, Vinny Vella and Cha-Cha?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've heard. So I've heard.
Cha-Cha was a good friend of mine, too.
Okay,
So,
yeah. But they
very,
go
very
back.
good
They
friend.
go
Probably
back.
closer,
Yeah.
you
They go
know,
back.
in terms of.
Well, you worked in the city, too, on beat, didn't
I
you? for a
lived in the
while?
city, I worked in the
Yeah.
city, I slept in the city, I ate the city.
Can't even believe you were a beat cop.
That was.
But that's good. At least you got a pension out of it.
You know, you mentioned the lottery ticket before. I'll just quickly tell the
Yes,
story.
and we're going to have to wrap it up soon.
So Vinny went into the local bodega.
This is a great story.
And there's an Arab guy behind the counter, and Vinny would split the $20 ticket and $20 ticket, and they, you know, if something happened. So Vinny's, we won. And the guy behind the counter's going, holla, 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 you know, and he's going crazy. Meanwhile, they're going nuts with each other. We won. And everybody's walking out with all the milk and all the products there because they're not paying any attention to anybody. So Vinny goes and tells Margaret Ann, oh, we won. Go ahead, buy everything. So they spent a whole lot of money over that weekend because they're going to go down to the lottery place on Monday. So they go down to the lottery place on Monday. One person looks at it, second person looks at it, third person, fourth person, fifth person. There was a printing error. If you remember this happens occasionally.
I do remember.
So there was a printing that, I'm going to go to the New York Post. I'm going to go to TV. It was wrong. It was wrong. So Vinny had to spend all that money and nothing. So he had to go to court, and he wanted to get his money back.
Didn't he get something?
Wait,
how'd that-
they printed the wrong number, or I
Yeah, it was a
understand.
misprint.
a couple of different tickets, I think it was,
Yeah,
right?
there were a lot of tickets with a misprint on it.
Oh.
Yeah, so that
like, too
story-
many
But
people
That's a
printed
no-no,
it?
too. They got to
Wow.
Yeah, to me that seems a little fugazi.
That-
You know,
it
it's like
was.
you should pay. You pay
Yes,
the person.
you made the
if it's
mistake.
printed. That's
Sure.
your fault. That's
Yeah.
nobody's fault.
But of course, Vinny goes to court and he wants to fight this kind of thing. So he goes to the judge. Judge wants to give him back the $20. Vinny said, Vinny gets into it with the judge. Vinny goes back to, back there. You want a bologna sandwich? I don't eat that shit.
Oh, they stuck him in the jail?
Stuck him in the jail for a minute.
Yeah, they cooled him down.
Yeah, they cooled him down. So, and then there was another story with his mother. He wrote down the numbers for his mother, and he'd play for his mother. The problem is, he wrote the numbers down of the winning thing from the previous week. So, and then he looks at it and he thinks he won. So he tells his mother, "You won, you won, you won." So his mother calls his brother in her son in California, people in Italy, and all this kind of stuff.
Oh my
And then Vinny has to tell her,
Yeah.
didn't work. Vinny, I spent all this money. She's furious with him. You're going to have to pay $29 for the phone bill or you're not coming back in the house. So,
Oh, that shows. That's a lesson right there.
There you go.
Don't spend it until you got it.
yeah.
Oh, man. So, listen, thank you for coming tonight.
Oh, I
Wait.
appreciate
You
it.
have your own giveaway, right?
Yes.
I do
Oh,
have a
that's right.
giveaway.
Talk.
Because of Johnny P and this special, show, I said, Johnny, listen, why don't you give away one of these books?
Okay.
And so if somebody comes and writes to you and tells you who Vinny played, what was the name of the character Vinny played in Casino, we're going to mail them a book.
Okay, so anyone that watches this and they hear what Gary's saying, the first one that emails me, email it to Breakin Ballz podcast at gmail.com in the subject line, who's better than me? Okay, and the first one that I get, I will give it to Garry, and he'll mail it to you personally.
And if they put their name in there, I'll put it to them and I'll sign the book.
And you got to put an extra 20 in there too. You said.
And for anyone who doesn't know the answers to that and would just like to buy the book, you can do so by going to HeyWho'sBetterThanYou.com.
Thank you very much.
That's the Price is Right there.
That's
Perfect.
right.
There you
That's
go.
right.
So where can they find you on social media? Where are you?
You can find me on HeyWho'sBetterThanYou.com.
But you're on Instagram, ain't you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. A whole
Okay.
bunch of places.
We got a shout out to our boy Lou Hot Dogs Martini. He ate too many.
Martini.
Yeah,
There you go, Lou.
Martini.
There you go, buddy.
He ate too many hot dogs last night. John, I can't eat no more. I can't mix hot dogs no more, John. He goes, the ones at Gary's were okay, but those ballparks you got me no good.
I didn't get
Oh,
ballparks.
man.
I
No,
had
no,
good
I
hot
gave
dogs
I
there.
gave him the ballparks. You
I
had
had good hot dogs.
You had good hot dogs. I
did.
like them.
At
I took them-
Duman's.
I put a couple in my pocket.
I had them just for Lou.
Uncle Louie
Oh my
Martini.
God.
So, all right, Garry, where can people find you?
Garry_Pastore at
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's it.
With 2 R's. Not
Two
like
R-
Gary
two
with 1 R
Rs.
over there.
And Concetta Rose.
Yeah, just whatever. It's fine.
You got to put Rose Garden, and you'll see her there.
No, you don't.
And what about your beautiful art that you do? Promote that. Give it the site.
All right. I don't have a site, but okay.
Well, you
it's
got- you-
Concetta Rose Art.
There you go. Well, that's a site enough.
And I only have 1 R in Gary because my parents were poor.
There you go.
That's crazy.
I told you why.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. You all get home
Yay.
safe. It was a really good time. And that's it. Keep following us. We need to be followed on Facebook, Instagram, all social media, and podcast platforms, please. And listen, remember, it's always nice to be nice. But whose balls can you break this week? Good night.